What's going on, everyone? Welcome to another episode of the Fit, Healthy, and most of all, Happy podcast. I am your coach and host, Josh, here with
his co-host and co-coach, KG, and I'm in the house.
And we got a killer episode for you today. We will be covering the best diet for muscle gain, fat loss, and just optimizing your journey in general. Take it away, Kyle.
So just to start off, a little prelude here is there really is no best diet. I hear it thrown around by so many people. If someone built a business on intermittent fasting, that's 100% what they'll say. That's all they talk about. Same with keto. And, obviously it's tough to believe those people, but there really is no one direct way. And that's what's cool about fitness is you can take it so many different paths. If you want to do keto, awesome. If that's what you follow and stick to, great. If you follow flexible dieting, but we wanted to give you some thought processes in terms of what we believe, what we've been doing for, close to 10 years now, what we help our clients with, and jump into that. But, the biggest thing, if I were to just give you one thing to think about, is the thing that you can follow, the diet that you can follow consistently will always be the best diet. Essentially, that's what you're going to do on the hard days, on the great days, on the the weekends, on the travel. And that's where I think so many people struggle, is because you get thrown out a bunch of different things, and you get these ads, you get these marketers, you get everyone just saying you got to try this. When you think of really hard diets to follow, it would be maybe something like a meal plan where there's no variety, just chicken, broccoli, and rice, maybe juicing, which would be just having juice drinks and paying hundreds of dollars a month for that stuff. Even keto, I do find a lot of people struggle because you have to just be able to navigate on specific situations where going out, going to family get-togethers, it can be very hard. Some people do it, but that's totally fine. Going into something that's a bit more reasonable but still a little bit challenging would be something like intermittent fasting. When you start to think of just what it is, it really isn't the hardest. I know some people struggle with it, but some people really enjoy it. That's totally fine. Something like the Mediterranean diet where you're just having Mediterranean-based foods, that's also kind of more so in the middle. But what we really wanted to talk about, there's flexible dieting. This is, to me personally, the thing that allows you, no matter what your situation is, no matter where you're at on your journey. And I really want to set you up for success. So if you're traveling, if you're doing anything at all, our biggest mission is to be able to have you succeed no matter what. And I'll let Josh take it away with what flexible dieting is and give you some viewpoints, and we'll jump into some more benefits after.
Yeah, so any diet that you can do long-term is going to be best for you. You can see a ton of results if you just starve yourself. If you just absolutely fasted for a week, you'd lose a lot of weight, but it would come with repercussions. And I think most diets are this way. A good example is you'll see a lot of people jump into 75 hard. They'll get motivated. They'll be like, let's do this. And they'll go from doing nothing to doing everything, having no alcohol, going on a long workout indoors, long workout outdoors, having no cheat meals, drilling their water, which are all incredible things, but they don't take into account a lifestyle. Maybe you have a big special event and something that throws you off of that, or you're just not something you can upkeep and sustain. You get sick, whatever it is, and then people rebound so hard. And that's where it's better that you find something you can do consistently. And that's what flexible dieting seems to approach and improve. So the concept of flexible dieting is that you're looking to eat your foods that will fit your daily requirements, whether you're maintaining, cutting, bulking, whatever your goal may be, and you're still keeping health at the forefront of that. You're still aiming to eat good food. So flexible dieting kind of grew. It was like the big brother, or I guess you could say it's the spawn, it's the child of If It Fits Your Macros. If It Fits Your Macros was the opposite. It's you have your macros. If you're 150 protein, 300 carb, 60 fat, it's totally cool if you can hit that just eating McDonald's because you hit your macros good enough for composition. You'll still look insane. And that was kind of the world around it. And it became a game of who can stuff as much garbage in their diet. But that comes at expense too. At the end of the day, this should be done for health. This should be done for longevity. You should aim to feel your best and perform your best by eating good quality foods. Saying so, on the flip side of that, the people that are entirely clean really shoot themselves in the foot because they have no balance. There's so many delicious, fun foods out there. Food is a social thing. It's tied to events. There's so much going on. And that's where flexible dieting solves this. It's to say, hey, if you're maintaining, you're only in a slight deficit or you're bulking and you want a cookie, that's no problem. You can still have that. You can be flexible and you can still eat really good foods and have that be the core of your diet and still work in a few fun, enjoyable things. If you're out on a social night and you want to have 1 to 2 drinks, you can fit that in as well. And this needs to be done within reason, because if you want to have 8 drinks, a large pizza, and you have caloric restrictions, that's not going to work. You're going to deviate from that and you're not going to see progress. But this kind of allows you to have the best of both worlds and to actually see progression, feel best, eat good food. And you can play with these percentages. And we usually give the general rule of 80-20. If 80% of the foods you're eating are good quality foods from great sources, you're going to feel phenomenal. Then you can still work in really fun things from time to time. If you love barbecue, whatever it is, you're at a wedding, it gives you that ability to do it guilt-free. And as we've said, the best diet is the one you can do long-term, because maybe you'll have a ton of success in intermittent fasting. You hate it, but it works, so you do it. That's not going to work for you. Saying so, there's some people that can do keto, intermittent fasting, Mediterranean. They love it. It fits their lifestyle. It's not hard to deviate. And that's totally fine. And that's where there is no best situation. But I find flexible dieting gives you the criteria to still do these other things within it and to have reason. Because if you're doing Mediterranean, you break that, there comes shame and you feel horrible. But if you say, my diet is primarily Mediterranean themed, those are the foods I feel best on, good for you. And just the same if you're someone who's like, I really prefer having more carb density, or if you're someone who's like, I actually just am full keto, like you really need to evaluate your situation and see what fits best. But for 9 out of 10 people, maybe 99 out of 100 people, I would say flexible dieting and balance is the best. Because same with keto, I know a lot of people have done it. They're good for a week. They're in ketosis. They break it. They never get back in ketosis. They spin their wheels. They gain all their weight back and they go, oh, I need to go back to keto. And then the same process keeps happening and you see no progression. That's going to get you nowhere. And that's where the term diet is just horrible, because you already just assume you're going to fail. You'll do good for a bit and you'll fail. Whereas flexible dieting is what you could do for life. This is an approach that will work long term, that really teaches you about what you're eating, how it makes you feel, and how to navigate it. So I know it's a big spiel, but that's the thinking behind it.
Yeah, and there's so many things to consider, and it's crazy because the more that we talk to people, like a lot of people don't even realize that this is a thing. I guess some people do if they listen here, and if you've been listening for a while, you do, but they just don't realize that they can still achieve great results while being able to just fit in a cupcake at an engagement party, or have a drink at a social event. And like, if you can have just like broccoli, chicken, and rice, and I use that as an example because that's what I used to do, is just like straight 100% clean, no fun foods, like no deviation. But like my life was pretty miserable. Like, when I was getting ready for a competition, I mean, that was kind of essential to meet the requirements, but to still lose body fat, at the rate where it's like, let's say 1 to 2 pounds per week, like you can get into a nice deficit while still going out to get-togethers and social events. And there's a lot of people out there, like there are coaches who will get phenomenal results, like getting you a meal plan with just like no deviation, like nothing at all. But it's just those times where you want to be able to go out, the times that you just like wanted to enjoy something, like it's just not sustainable long term. And that's so important to consider, as you've heard us talk about quite a bit here. Like I feel like I could comfortably for the next 10 to 15 to 50 years just like follow this approach, still see great results, and it'll change based off of my calorie intake, right? If I do decide, hey, I want to cut down 20 pounds for a photo shoot or whatever, just bring those calories down a little bit, maybe increase protein a tad. Of course, I won't be able to enjoy as many fun foods because, I'll have to just be in that calorie deficit quite a bit more. Whereas if I'm lean bulking like I am now, just bring the calories up a bit, maybe enjoy a little bit. Like it really doesn't have to be that complicated. And there's so many things to consider. Even just the cupcake example at the engagement party, I'm saying, just most of the things out there will be like, nope, you can't have it. Nope, you got your diet plan, you got your juicing plan, you got your meal plan, you got your keto, like no way at all. Whereas like the principle isn't to go out and have 8 of the cupcakes, but it's to maybe enjoy 1 and to celebrate and enjoy, but to still feel great, to still get those incredible results. And jumping into some benefits, as I've kind of shared here already, like just no food is off limits. Like there's no restrictions. And once again, there's a big difference between saying, hey, I'm going to have 5 chocolate bars today versus, hey, I'm going to enjoy 1 because I've been craving it and I'm just going to, it's 200 calories and I'm going to fit it into, and it works. It fits into my diet. Like there's a big difference, but being able to enjoy that thing that you've been craving, that maybe you just, it helps you push longer term versus like saying, nope, I'm not going to have it. The next few weeks, that's all you're thinking about. And when you get your hands on it, you'll go off the deep end. Like I've been there before when I used to say, nope, can't have an ice cream cone. The second I get on, I will have tons and tons, right? And that's the way that we're wired and a lot of people work as well. even just individualization, like having these specific parameters, but also not specific parameters, allows it to fit your lifestyle and where you're at. And unfortunately, a lot of diets and a lot of approaches is just like a one size fits all program. And especially when it comes to like meal plans, it's like, no, this is it. Like there's no specifics. There's too many specifics and there's no individualization. And of course, we've talked about long-term sustainability. It just allows you to not eliminate certain foods, allows you to just adhere over time. And that is going to be one of the greatest things. And then another thing to consider is even just food variety. It allows you to just encompass a lot of different foods. And that's one thing as well that a lot of other diets miss out on, is when you are limited, you are missing a lot of nutrients. Like I've heard so many different things where someone has a meal plan, they're like very low on specific nutrients because they're so specific on having just one set food. And that's something to consider for sure. So hopefully this gives you some more insight. Once again, it's an amazing approach. It helps you stick with it long term. It helps you get results. And that's why for our coaching system and the way that we've, just worked our coaching program for so many people over the last 10-ish years, everyone gets results and also keeps it. Like I hear so many times people will lose weight, they'll cut out everything, they'll have no carbs for, a couple months. And then you have a conversation and they're back to square one because they, what do you do after that? And anyways, I could pop off for days. I'm sure Josh has a bit more to say, but it's just something to think about. And I hope it helps you out for sure.
Yeah, and we've now coached thousands of individuals. We've helped hundreds of thousands via our YouTube. And this is the one system that tried and true works, and it doesn't require much effort. So if you're wondering, well, how do I start this quote unquote flexible diet? The best thing you can do is start by, and last week we had an amazing episode on how much protein you should be eating. Know your protein numbers, kind of know your maintenance, and then you can adjust that whether you want to bulk or cut. So you can either be in a slight deficit or a surplus to achieve whatever goal you're looking to do. And you will do this by actually tracking your calories. So when you eat something, you just put in MyFitnessPal. It may seem tedious, but it is not bad. And as you become more efficient at it, it only takes me 1 to 2 minutes a day. And for me to have amazing data and info on where I'm at and be able to manipulate and adjust these factors to see body change and to have balance and to feel phenomenal, it allows me to really kind of see where I'm at. And maybe you do have a weaker day where maybe it's 50-50 or 40-60 and you have less good quality food. You can always be encouraged to do that the next day. And that's where data doesn't lie. So one of the best things you can do is start tracking your food. We use MyFitnessPal. The paid version is not worth it in my opinion. We have no affiliations with them. I just find it's kind of the main app in this space. So if you haven't done it before, I would start there, start tracking your food, and you will be amazed at how much that helps you generate results alone. Of course, we'd love to help you optimize your nutrition the best way possible so you can see better results faster and be on a plan that's actually going to get you to where you want to be so you can not spin your wheels, because it's emotional. It sucks putting your heart and soul into something, failing and feeling miserable about it. We've been there. We've all done these horrible diets, being overly strict, and it's just not good for you, and it's going to create more problems down the road. So it's better you learn how to do it right, and we would be happy to help you do that. But we want to thank everyone for tuning in today. Great episode. Once again, we really hope this explained the why and the how behind everything here. But if you have any more questions, always feel free to message us as well on Instagram and to shoot us a follow there. And once again, our Instagram is @ColossusFit, COLOSSUSFIT. More amazing content and for me and Kyle, such as daily stories, reels, advice, and you get more visuals than you do on the podcast, which is fantastic. So make sure now that this episode's done, go over there, follow us, and mean the world. Say hey, say what's up. We love hearing from you, and thanks for tuning in. Peace out.